Before we dive into this epic romance, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Trust me, you're going to want to see how this unfolds. The rain fell like bullets that night in Seoul, and Zara Okonkwo was running out of options. Her hands shook as she counted the one notes one more time. Still not enough. Not even close. The hospital bill sat in her bag like a death sentence, the numbers blurring through her tears. Emmanuel needed surgery. Her little brother was dying, and she was 5,000 miles from home with empty pockets and nowhere left to turn. The street was empty at this hour, just her and the neon signs reflecting off wet pavement. She'd already tried every loan company that would talk to a foreign nursing student. Already pawned everything worth selling. Already begged every favor she could. Zara stepped off the curb without looking. The screech of tires cut through the rain. Headlights blinded her. She froze, waiting for impact. The black Mercedes stopped 2 feet from her body. For a moment, nothing moved. Just the sound of rain hammering metal and the throb of a powerful engine. Then the driver's door opened. He was tall. That was her first thought. Tall and sharp in an expensive black suit that probably cost more than her entire year's tuition. His face was all angles and ice, the kind of beautiful that made you forget to breathe. Dark eyes assessed her like she was a problem to solve. Are you trying to die? His Korean was crisp, educated. Nothing like the street vendors she bought coffee from. I'm sorry. Zara bowed, water streaming down her face. I wasn't paying attention. Clearly, he should have gotten back in the car. Should have driven away. But something made him pause. Maybe it was the way she stood there, soaked and shivering, clutching a bag like it held her last hope. You're not from here. It wasn't a question. Nigeria. I'm a student. I really am sorry for stepping out like that. She moved to walk away. Wait. She turned back. He was studying her with an intensity that made her skin prickle. You need money. Her spine stiffened. I'm not that kind of girl. I didn't suggest you were. Something almost like amusement flickered in those cold eyes. But you're desperate. I can see it. What do you need? Pride told her to walk away. Desperation made her stay. My brother is sick. He needs surgery. The hospital bills are piling up and I can't work enough hours to cover it and finish my degree and she stopped. Why was she telling this stranger her problems? How much? Excuse me. How much do you need? Zara's throat went dry. 15 million won. But I can't just take money from a stranger. I don't even know your name. Kwon Ji-hoon. He pulled out his phone, fingers moving across the screen. And you're not taking it. You're borrowing it. I can't pay that back. Not for years. Maybe never. Then you'll work for me until the debt is cleared. He looked up from his phone. I need someone I can trust. Someone with no connections to my world. You'll do. Every instinct screamed danger. This man radiated power and something darker, something that made her want to run. But Emmanuel's face flashed in her mind. Her baby brother who collected rocks and wanted to be a scientist. Her brother who was dying because she couldn't afford to save him. What kind of work? Nothing that requires you to compromise yourself. You're a nurse, yes? I need medical care. Discreet medical care. Are you sick? My people are. And they can't go to hospitals. He tilted his head. Are you always this curious about your benefactors? I'm not agreeing yet. But you will. It wasn't arrogance. Just certainty. Because you're out of options, and I'm offering you the one thing you need. Hope. Zara wanted to argue. Wanted to tell him to keep his shady money and his dangerous job. But the hospital bill in her bag felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. If I agree, I need guarantees. Nothing illegal. Nothing that hurts people. I'm not asking you to hurt anyone. Just patch them up when they get hurt. He stepped closer, and she caught the scent of expensive cologne and rain. Do we have a deal? She should say no. Should walk away from this beautiful, dangerous man and find another way. Yes. He smiled. It was like watching ice crack. Good. Give me your account details. The money will be there in an hour. Just like that. Just like that. He opened the car door. And Zara Okonkwo? Don't make me regret this. He knew her name. She hadn't told him her name. But before she could ask, he was gone, the Mercedes disappearing into the rain-slicked streets. Zara stood there, water soaking through to her bones, and wondered what she'd just agreed to. Her phone buzzed 45 minutes later. A notification from her bank. 15 million won deposited into her account. She stared at the screen until the numbers blurred. Then she ran all the way to the hospital, clutching her phone like a lifeline. Emmanuel would live. That was all that mattered. Whatever price she had to pay, she'd pay it gladly. She just didn't know yet how high that price would be. 3 days later, a car arrived at her apartment. The same black Mercedes. The same silent driver who handed her a card with an address and a time. "Mr. Kwan expects you at 8, the driver said in English. His accent was American. "Don't be late." The address led to Gangnam, to a building that looked like it housed tech startups and corporate offices. Nothing sinister. Nothing that screamed danger. Zara's hands were sweating when she pressed the button for the penthouse. The elevator was glass and chrome, rising so fast her ears popped. When the doors opened, she stepped into a different world. The penthouse was massive. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Seoul like the city was a kingdom laid out for viewing. The furniture was modern and expensive, all clean lines and dark colors. Art that probably cost more than her education hung on the walls. "You came." Zara spun. Ji-hoon stood in a doorway, wearing black slacks and a white shirt with the sleeves rolled up. More casual than the suit, but somehow more intimidating. Maybe because she could see the tattoos now, dark ink crawling up his forearms. "You paid for my brother's surgery." "Of course I came." Gratitude or obligation? Does it matter? To me? No. To you? Probably. He gestured to a hallway. "Come. I'll show you the medical room." She followed, hyper-aware of the space between them. The way he moved like a predator, all controlled grace. The way the air seemed to shift when he was near. The medical room was better equipped than some clinics she'd trained in. Examination table, cabinets full of supplies, monitoring equipment. Everything sterile and organized. "You'll treat anyone I bring here. Gunshot wounds, stab wounds, broken bones. Whatever they need." He leaned against the doorframe, watching her explore. "Can you handle that?" "I've done emergency rotations. Trauma care. I can handle it." She turned to face him. "But I need to know what I'm getting into. Who are these people?" "People who can't go to hospitals without questions being asked." "Criminals." "That's a broad term. Is it inaccurate?" He smiled that ice-cracking smile again. "You're brave. Asking me questions when you're standing in my home, owing me millions of won. Bravery or stupidity. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference." Her heart hammered, but she held his gaze. "If I'm going to do this, I need honesty." "What do you do, Kwon Ji-hoon?" "I run an organization. We handle problems that the law can't or won't address. We move things, protect things, control certain territories in Seoul." He pushed off the doorframe, moving closer. "Some people call me the Shadow King." The air left Zara's lungs. She'd heard that name, whispered in the international student housing, mentioned in news reports that never quite named names. The Shadow King controlled half of Seoul's underworld, ruthless and untouchable. And she'd just agreed to work for him. Drop a comment right now and tell me, would you have taken the money? What would you have done in Zara's position? And don't forget to like this video if you're already hooked. "I should go." She moved toward the door. His hand caught her wrist. Not hard, just enough to stop her. "You made a deal." "I didn't know I was making a deal with a crime lord." "And if you had known, would you have let your brother die?" His thumb brushed the inside of her wrist, probably feeling her racing pulse. "Don't pretend you have the luxury of morals right now, Zara. You needed help. I gave it. Now you pay it back. That's how this works." She yanked her hand free. "Don't touch me." "Noted." He stepped back, giving her space. "You'll come here 3 nights a week. More if I call. You'll tell no one what you do here or who you work for. In exchange, your debt will be reduced by 2 million won per month. At that rate, you'll be free in 8 months. And if I refuse, then I'll expect the full 15 million won back immediately." His expression didn't change. "Can you do that?" They both knew she couldn't. Zara felt the trap close around her. She'd walked into it willingly, desperately, and now there was no way out except through. "Fine. 3 nights a week. But I have conditions." "Of course you do. I don't participate in violence. I don't help you hurt people. I only heal. And if you ask me to do something that crosses that line, I walk. Debt or no debt." "Agreed." He held out his hand. "Do we shake on it? Or are you still opposed to touching me?" She stared at his hand. Long fingers, clean nails. The hands of a man who could probably kill without breaking a sweat. Zara shook it anyway. His grip was warm and firm. He held on a second too long, his eyes searching hers. Welcome to the shadows, Zura Okonkwo. Try not to get lost in them. The first patient arrived 2 nights later. Zara was setting up supplies when she heard voices in the hallway. Raised, urgent. Then Ji-hoon appeared with a man half-carrying, half-dragging another between them. Blood. So much blood. Her training kicked in before fear could. Get him on the table. Now. They laid him down. The man was young, maybe 25, with a bullet wound in his shoulder. His face was pale, lips tinged blue. Going into shock. What happened? Zara's hands moved quickly, cutting away his shirt. Disagreement with a rival organization, Ji-hoon said calmly. Like this was normal. Like there wasn't a man bleeding out on her table. I need you both out. You're contaminating my sterile field. I'm staying. Ji-hoon's voice left no room for argument. Zara didn't have time to fight. She focused on the patient, on stopping the bleeding, on extracting the bullet lodged against his scapula. Her hands stayed steady even as her mind screamed that this was insane. She was performing surgery in a penthouse on a gang member while a crime lord watched. 2 hours later, the patient was stable, stitched up and sedated, his vitals steady on the monitor. Zara peeled off her bloody gloves and sagged against the counter. Adrenaline drained away, leaving her shaking. You did well. Ji-hoon hadn't moved from his position by the wall, just watched her work with those unreadable dark eyes. He needs a hospital. Real imaging. I can't be sure there's no internal damage. He stays here. He could die. He'll definitely die if I take him to a hospital. The people who shot him will finish the job. Ji-hoon moved closer, studying her face. You're pale. When did you last eat? I'm fine. You're shaking. He pulled out his phone, typed something. My driver will take you home. Come back tomorrow to check on him. I have classes tomorrow. Skip them. I can't just skip medical school because you tell me to. You can and you will. Unless you want your patient's death on your conscience. He tilted his head. Or would you prefer I find another nurse? Someone less principled, but more obedient. Fury burned through her exhaustion. You're manipulating me. I'm being practical. The man in that room needs continuity of care. You started this, you finish it. He stepped closer, close enough that she could see gold flecks in his dark eyes. Besides, you're good at this. Better than I expected. It would be a waste to replace you now. How generous. I thought so. Was that amusement in his voice? Go home, Zara. Rest. I'll send a car at 9 tomorrow morning. She wanted to argue. Wanted to tell him he couldn't just rearrange her life on a whim. But the patient in the next room needed her, and they both knew it. Fine. 9 tomorrow. But you're paying for the classes I'm missing. Add it to your tab. The drive home took 20 minutes. Zara spent all of them staring out the window, trying to process what her life had become. 3 weeks ago, she was a struggling student worrying about exams. Now she was patching up gunshot wounds for the Shadow King. Her apartment felt too small when she got back. Too quiet. She stood in the shower until the hot water ran out, scrubbing away blood that was already gone, trying to wash away the memory of tonight. It didn't work. She dreamed of dark eyes and dangerous smiles, of hands that could kill but held her wrist with careful restraint, of a voice that sent shivers down her spine even as it gave orders she couldn't refuse. When her alarm went off at 8, Zara felt like she hadn't slept at all. The car arrived exactly at 9. Same driver, same silent efficiency. This time when she entered the penthouse, Ji-hoon was waiting in the living room. He wore all black today. Dress shirt, slacks, even his watch was black. It should have looked severe, but instead made him devastating. Like darkness made human. Your patient is asking for water, he said without preamble. Zara dropped her bag and went straight to the medical room. The young man was awake, groggy but alert. His vitals looked good. No fever yet, though she'd need to watch for infection. Hey, I'm Zara. I'm the one who patched you up. She checked his pupils, his pulse. How's your pain? 1 to 10. 7. Maybe 8. His voice was rough. Thank you. For saving my life. That's my job. She adjusted his 4, added antibiotics. What's your name? Taemin. Okay, Taemin. You're going to be fine, but you need to rest. No moving around. No trying to be tough. She gave him a stern look. You got shot. Act like it. He managed a weak smile. Yes, ma'am. She spent an hour with him, changing bandages, monitoring his condition, making sure he understood his medication schedule. Professional. Detached. Just a nurse doing her job. When she emerged, Ji-hoon was on the phone. Speaking rapid Korean, she couldn't quite follow. Something about a shipment and a warehouse. He ended the call when he saw her. Well, he'll live, but he needs constant monitoring for the next 48 hours. I can't do that and attend my classes. So don't attend your classes. I have exams coming up. I can't just. I'll arrange for private tutoring. You'll catch up. He said it like it was already decided. Like her entire schedule was his to rearrange. You'll stay here until he's stable. Zara's jaw dropped. Stay here? As an overnight. There are 6 guest rooms. Pick one. He checked his watch. I have a meeting. Help yourself to anything in the kitchen. If Taemin's condition changes, call me immediately. Wait, you're leaving me here alone. You'll hardly be alone. Taemin needs supervision, and my security team is stationed throughout the building. He grabbed a jacket from the back of a chair. Don't go into my office or my bedroom. Everywhere else is fine. I don't feel comfortable staying in a stranger's house. Then consider us no longer strangers. He paused at the door, looking back. You should know, Zara, that I don't trust easily. The fact that I'm leaving you here, in my space, with access to my injured man, means something. Don't make me regret extending that trust. Then he was gone. Zara stood in the massive living room, surrounded by luxury she couldn't afford to breathe on, and wondered how her life had spiraled so completely out of control. Her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Guest room second on the left has the best view. The code for the main door is 0847 in case of emergency. Don't abuse it. It was from Ji-hoon. Of course it was. She checked on Taemin again, made sure he was sleeping comfortably, then explored the penthouse because what else was she going to do? The kitchen was ridiculous. Professional-grade appliances, a wine fridge, a pantry stocked with food from around the world. She made herself ramen because it felt safer than touching anything expensive. The guest room he'd suggested was beautiful. King-size bed, attached bathroom with a tub that could fit 3 people, and windows that overlooked all of Seoul. The city glittered in the afternoon light, beautiful and indifferent to the chaos below. Zara sat on the edge of the bed and called her mother in Lagos. Zara, how is Emmanuel? Her mother's voice was bright with hope. He's doing well, Mama. The surgery went perfectly. He should be released next week. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Her mother started crying. Happy tears this time. I knew you would find a way. You always find a way. Guilt twisted in Zara's stomach. Yeah, I found a way. They talked for 20 minutes about Emmanuel's recovery, about her siblings, about church gossip back home. Normal things. Safe things. Things that had nothing to do with crime lords and bullet wounds. When she hung up, the penthouse felt even quieter. She spent the rest of the day checking on Taemin, reading medical journals on her tablet, and trying not to think about where Ji-hoon was or what he was doing. It was none of her business. She was just the hired help. The nurse paying off a debt. Night fell over Seoul. The city transformed, neon and headlights creating rivers of light through the darkness. Zara stood at the window, watching, when she heard the elevator. Ji-hoon stepped out looking tired. His jacket was gone, his shirt sleeves rolled up, and there was tension in his shoulders that hadn't been there this morning. Taemin, he asked. Stable. Sleeping. I gave him pain medication an hour ago. She turned from the window. How was your meeting? Tedious. He loosened his tie. Have you eaten? Ramen earlier. That's not dinner. He moved to the kitchen, opening cabinets with familiar ease. I'll make something. You cook. I live alone. The alternative is starving. He pulled out ingredients. Vegetables, meat, rice. Sit. You've been on your feet all day. Zara perched on a bar stool, watching him move around the kitchen with surprising competence. It was strange, seeing the Shadow King chop vegetables and heat a pan. Domestic. Almost normal. Where did you learn to cook? She asked. My mother. Before she died. He said it matter-of-factly, no emotion. Just a statement of truth. I'm sorry. It was a long time ago. He added garlic to the pan, the smell filling the kitchen. She used to say that a man who can't feed himself is at the mercy of others. She wanted me self-sufficient. She sounds wise. She was. He was quiet for a moment. She would have liked you. Your stubbornness. Zara didn't know what to say to that. Didn't know how to handle this version of him. The man cooking dinner and talking about his mother. It felt like seeing behind a mask, and she wasn't sure she wanted that. Easier to keep him as the dangerous crime lord. Harder to hate someone who looked sad talking about their dead mother. He served the food 20 minutes later. Bulgogi with rice and kimchi. It smelled incredible. "This is really good," Zara said after the first bite. "Don't sound so surprised." "I just didn't expect," she stopped. "Didn't expect what?" "That I'd have any skills beyond violence and intimidation." He raised an eyebrow. "I'm a complicated man, Zara Okonkwo. You might want to remember that." They ate in silence. Not uncomfortable exactly, but charged. Like the air before a storm. "Why did you really stop that night?" Zara asked suddenly. "In the rain. You could have just driven away." Jihoon set down his chopsticks. "You want honesty?" "Always." "I don't know." He met her eyes. "I saw you standing there, completely lost, and something in me recognized something in you. Desperation, maybe. Or loneliness. I stopped because I wanted to." "That's not much of an answer." "It's the only one I have." He leaned back in his chair. "Why did you accept my offer? And don't say it was just for your brother. You could have found other ways. Sold more things. Borrowed from other people. But you took money from a stranger in the rain." "What?" Zara thought about lying. About giving him the simple answer. But something about the quiet kitchen and his honest eyes made her tell the truth. "Because when you looked at me, I didn't feel invisible anymore. I've been in Seoul for 2 years, and most days I feel like a ghost. Just another foreign student, another body taking up space. But you saw me. Really saw me. And maybe that made me reckless." The silence that followed was heavy with things neither of them could say. Jihoon stood abruptly. "It's late. You should get some rest. Tomorrow we'll be busy." "What's happening tomorrow?" "I'm teaching you self-defense." "What?" "What?" "Because you work for me now, and that puts a target on your back whether you like it or not." His expression was hard again. The moment of softness gone. 8 in the morning. "Wear clothes you can move in." He disappeared down the hallway before she could argue. Zara sat alone in the kitchen, her dinner half finished, and wondered what kind of world she'd stepped into where crime lords cooked bulgogi and worried about her safety. A world that was starting to feel less terrifying and more dangerous in entirely different ways. She checked on Taemin one last time before bed. He was sleeping peacefully, his breathing steady. Tomorrow she'd reduce his pain medication, start him on solid foods. Normal medical things in this very abnormal situation. The guest room was dark except for the city lights through the window. Zara changed into the sleep clothes she'd packed in her emergency bag, climbed into the enormous bed, and tried not to think about Jihoon sleeping somewhere else in this penthouse. Tried not to think about the way he'd looked at her across the dinner table. Tried not to think about how she'd looked back. She was in so much trouble, and it had nothing to do with the debt. We're just getting started, and already the tension is building. Comment below if you think Zara should run while she still can, or if you're rooting for her to stay. And smash that like button if you want to see where this forbidden attraction leads. Morning came too fast. Zara woke to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar windows and a moment of panic before she remembered where she was. Jihoon's penthouse. Right. Her new temporary reality. She checked on Taemin first thing. His color looked better, no signs of infection. Good. She changed his dressing, checked his vitals, made notes on his chart. "You're thorough," Taemin observed, watching her work. "Thoroughness keeps people alive." She adjusted his fore. "How's the pain today?" "Better. Still hurts like hell, but better." "That's normal. You took a bullet. It's going to hurt for a while." She made a note to reduce his morphine dosage. "Do you do this often?" "Get shot." "First time, actually." He tried to smile. "Hope it's the last. Then maybe consider a different line of work. It's not that simple when you work for—" He stopped, glancing toward the door. "For Jihoon. I know who he is." Zara finished checking his bandages. "I'm not here by choice exactly, but I'm here. You don't have to watch what you say around me. Jihoon doesn't bring people into his space. Ever. The fact that you're here, that he trusts you with us, it means something." Before Zara could respond, Jihoon appeared in the doorway. He wore black workout clothes that showed off a body that was all lean muscle and controlled power. Tattoos she hadn't noticed before covered his left arm, intricate designs in black ink. "How's the patient?" he asked. "Healing well. No complications." Zara tried not to stare at his arms. "Failed. Good. Zara, you have 20 minutes to eat and change. Training starts at 8 sharp. I don't have workout clothes. Check the closet in your room. I had clothes delivered. Of course he did. Because apparently Ji-hoon just made things happen with a phone call. The closet held several sets of athletic wear in her exact size. Sports bras, leggings, tank tops. All high quality, all perfectly fitted. It should have been thoughtful. Instead it felt invasive, like he could see right through her. She changed quickly, pulled her hair into a high ponytail, and found Ji-hoon in a room she hadn't explored yet. It was a gym. Full weight setup, punching bags, mats covering half the floor, windows overlooking the city. You have a gym in your house. I have a lot of things in my house. He was wrapping his hands, methodical movements. Come here. Zara approached cautiously. He picked up another set of hand wraps. Give me your hands. She held them out. He took her right hand first, his fingers surprisingly gentle as he wound the fabric around her knuckles, her wrist, her palm. The intimacy of it made her breath catch. He was so close she could smell his soap, see the faint scar above his left eyebrow. You're tensing up, he said quietly. You're in my space. Get used to it. Self-defense requires close contact. He finished one hand, started on the other. Tell me what you know about fighting. Nothing. I'm a healer, not a fighter. Everyone should know how to fight. Especially women. Especially women who work for me. He tied off the second wrap, his thumb brushing her inner wrist. First lesson. Your body is a weapon. Every part of it. Elbows, knees, head, teeth. If someone grabs you, you use whatever you can reach. Has anyone ever grabbed me in your employment? Not yet. I intend to keep it that way, but preparation is survival. He moved to the center of the mat. Attack me. What? Attack me. However you want. Show me what your instincts are. This was insane. But Zara stepped forward and threw a punch like she'd seen in movies. He caught her fist easily, twisted her arm, and suddenly she was spun around with her back against his chest, his arm across her collarbone. Predictable. Ineffective. If I were an enemy, you'd be dead or worse. His breath was warm against her ear. Try again. Think about what you can reach right now. Her heart hammered. His body was solid behind hers, his arm not quite tight enough to restrict her breathing, but firm enough to trap her. She could feel every point of contact. His chest against her back, his thigh braced behind hers. The heat of him. Focus. This was a lesson, not whatever her body seemed to think it was. Zara drove her elbow back into his ribs. He grunted, loosened his grip just enough. She stomped on his instep, twisted free. Better. He was smiling. Actually smiling. You're a quick learner. They drilled for an hour. He taught her how to break holds, where to strike for maximum damage, how to use an attacker's momentum against them. He was patient but demanding, making her repeat moves until they were muscle memory. And through it all, Zara was hyper-aware of every touch. His hands adjusting her stance. His body demonstrating holds. The way he moved like violence was an art form. Again, he said, circling her on the mat. Someone grabs you from behind. What do you do? Before she could answer, his arms wrapped around her, pinning her own arms to her sides. Demonstration. Just demonstration. But her body didn't seem to understand that. She could feel his heartbeat against her spine, could feel the controlled strength in his arms. Zara. His voice was lower. What do you do? She drove her head back, stopping just short of his face. Stomped his foot. Twisted. This time when she broke free, she spun and her fist stopped an inch from his throat. Good. He didn't move. Just stood there with her fist at his throat, looking at her with something dark and intense in his eyes. Very good. The air between them felt electric. Dangerous. Zara lowered her fist slowly. I think that's enough for today, she said. Afraid you'll hurt me? Afraid I'll want to. His laugh was unexpected. Genuine. Fair enough. Go shower. I'll have breakfast ready in 30 minutes. Zara fled to the guest room, her skin hot and her thoughts scattered. This was her employer. Her dangerous, criminal employer who she owed millions of won. Getting distracted by his smile or his arms or the way he looked at her like she was interesting was the worst possible idea. The shower helped. Cold water, deep breaths, mental reminders that she had a plan. Pay off the debt, finish school, go home. No complications. No forbidden attraction to men who lived in shadows. When she emerged, dressed in normal clothes with her hair still damp, Ji-hoon had prepared a full breakfast spread. Eggs, rice, kimchi fruit. He'd showered too, his hair still wet, wearing a simple black t-shirt and jeans. Seeing him casual was somehow worse than seeing him in suits. More real, more human. Eat, he said, already seated. You burned a lot of energy. They ate in silence for a few minutes before Zara's curiosity got the better of her. Why are you being nice to me? He looked up. Am I being nice? You're cooking for me, training me, making sure I'm safe. That's more than just an employer usually does. Maybe I'm protecting my investment. Can't have my nurse getting hurt or quitting before the debt is paid. Is that all this is? What else would it be? But something flickered in his eyes. Something that made her pulse quicken. I don't know. You tell me. Ji-hoon set down his chopsticks. You want honesty? Fine. You're different. Most people who enter my world, they're either afraid or opportunistic. They want something from me or they want to get away from me. You don't seem to want either. I want to pay off my debt and leave. Do you? He leaned forward. Because from where I'm sitting, you could have run already. Could have taken the money for your brother and disappeared. I would have found you eventually, but you could have tried. You didn't. I keep my word. So do I. But that doesn't explain why you look at me like you're trying to figure out a puzzle. His gaze was intense. Or why you blush when I get too close. Heat flooded her face, proving his point. I don't. You do. It's distracting. Then stop getting close to me. I don't think I can. He said it so quietly she almost missed it. The confession hung between them. Dangerous. Honest. Impossible to ignore. Zara's phone shattered the moment. A message from her university. Reminder about tomorrow's exam. Reality crashing back in. I have to study, she said, standing abruptly. For my pharmacology exam. I can't fail it. Use my office. It's quiet. He stood too. I have business to attend to anyway. I'll be out most of the day. What about Taemin? You're the nurse. You tell me if it's safe to leave him. She checked on Taemin again. His vitals were stable, his color good, no fever. He should be fine for a few hours. But I'll stay close just in case. Good. Ji-hoon grabbed his jacket. Don't answer the door for anyone. Don't leave the penthouse. If there's an emergency, call me immediately. You're very bossy. I'm very thorough. There's a difference. He paused at the elevator. And Zara? The thing I said about not being able to stay away from you? Forget I said it. It was inappropriate. Then he was gone, leaving her standing there with her heart racing and her mind spinning. Forget it. Sure. Like she could just forget the way he'd looked at her. The raw honesty in his voice. The admission that he was just as affected as she was. Zara spent the afternoon in his office, trying to study. The room smelled like him. Cedar and something darker. His desk was obsessively organized, everything in its place. No personal photos. No clutter. Just the tools of whatever business he conducted. She lasted 2 hours before curiosity won. She wasn't going to snoop exactly. Just look around a little. Understand the man who was becoming more dangerous to her peace of mind by the day. The bookshelf held an eclectic mix. Classic literature in Korean and English. Philosophy. Art history. Books on strategy and war. A worn copy of The Art of War with notes in the margins. Another on traditional Korean medicine. Who was this man? Crime lord who read philosophy and cooked dinner? Who taught her self-defense and admitted he couldn't stay away from her? Find anything interesting? Zara spun. Ji-hoon stood in the doorway, earlier than expected. His expression was unreadable. I wasn't snooping. She gestured helplessly at the bookshelf. I was curious. About my books or about me? Both. Maybe. I don't know. She set down the philosophy text she'd been holding. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? Someone crueler. Simpler. Not someone who reads Nietzsche and cooks bulgogi. He moved into the room, closing the distance between them. Disappointment or relief? Complication. She held her ground even as her heart raced. You'd be easier to hate if you were just a monster. I am a monster, Zara. I've done things that would make you sick. Hurt people. Killed people. The fact that I can also cook and read doesn't change what I am. He stopped close enough that she could see the gold in his dark eyes. You should hate me. Would be safer for both of us if you did. Then why did you come back early? Because I couldn't stay away. His jaw tightened. I tried. Went to 3 different meetings. Couldn't focus. Kept thinking about you here, in my space, touching my things. Wondering if you were thinking about me the way I was thinking about you. Ji-hoon. Tell me to stop. Tell me this is inappropriate, and you're just my employee, and I'm making you uncomfortable. Tell me anything that will make me back away. Zara knew she should. Knew this was crossing every line that should exist between them. But when she opened her mouth, different words came out. What if I don't want you to back away? His control shattered. He closed the distance and kissed her. It wasn't gentle. It was desperate and fierce, his hand cupping her jaw, his body crowding hers against the bookshelf. Zara gasped and he deepened the kiss, tasting like mint and danger and everything she shouldn't want. She kissed him back, rose on her toes to get closer, fisted her hands in his shirt, lost herself in the heat and the want and the terrifying rightness of it. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, reality came crashing back. Oh my God, Zara pressed her fingers to her lips. Oh my God, what did we just do? What we've both been wanting to do since that night in the rain. His voice was rough. This is wrong. You're my employer. I owe you money. There's a power imbalance, and I should. Should what? Pretend you didn't kiss me back? Pretend you don't feel this too. He stepped back, running a hand through his hair. You're right. This is wrong. This is the worst possible idea. I'm supposed to keep you safe, not cross lines with you. Then why did you? Because you make me forget why I shouldn't. He looked at her with something raw in his eyes. You make me want things I have no right to want. Zara's phone buzzed. Her roommate asking where she'd been. The real world intruding again. I should go home, she said. Check on Taemin one more time, then go home. Zara, please. I need space to think. To figure out what this means. He nodded stiffly. I'll have my driver take you. But we're not done talking about this. Taemin was sleeping when she checked on him. His vitals looked good. She left detailed instructions for monitoring him overnight, made Jihoon promise to call if anything changed. The car ride home was silent. Zara stared out the window, her lips still tingling, her mind a mess of want and fear and confusion. She'd kissed the Shadow King, kissed him and wanted more, kissed him knowing it changed everything between them. Her apartment felt empty when she got back. Her roommate was at a study group. Zara stood in the shower again, trying to wash away the memory of his hands, his mouth, the desperate way he'd kissed her like she was air and he was drowning. It didn't work. Nothing worked. Because she could still feel him, could still taste him, could still hear his voice saying, you make me want things I have no right to want. Her phone buzzed. A message from Jihoon. I'm sorry. That shouldn't have happened. It won't happen again. Zara stared at the message for a long time. She should be relieved. Should agree that it was a mistake and they needed to maintain professional boundaries. Instead, she felt disappointed. She didn't respond. Didn't know what to say. Just lay in her bed in her small apartment and thought about a penthouse across the city where a dangerous man with gentle hands was probably lying awake thinking about her too. This was supposed to be simple. Debt and repayment. Professional obligation. Nothing more. When had simple become so impossibly complicated? Drop a comment if you think Zara should have run after that kiss, or if you're living for this forbidden chemistry. And hit that subscribe button because things are about to get even more intense. 3 days passed with no word from Jihoon. Zara threw herself into her studies, trying to forget the kiss that haunted her dreams. Pharmacology exam on Tuesday. Clinical rotation on Wednesday. Normal student things that felt surreal after the penthouse and the training and the way he'd looked at her like she was something precious. Thursday afternoon, a package arrived at her apartment. No note, just a box containing a new phone. Top of the line, already activated. One contact saved, Jihoon. She stared at it for 10 minutes before it rang. Did you get it? His voice was carefully neutral. Why did you send me a phone? The one you have is old. Insecure. If you're going to work for me, you need better protection. A pause. How was your exam? How did you know I had an exam? I pay attention, Zara. Her traitorous heart did a little flip. It went well. I think I passed. You did more than pass. Your professor emailed the results an hour ago. 94%. Top of your class. You hacked my school records? I have people who hack school records. I just make requests. He sounded almost amused. I need you to come in tomorrow night. New patient. Nothing serious, just stitches, but I'd prefer you handle it. Jihoon, about what happened. Doesn't change our arrangement. You still owe me money. I still need a nurse. The rest of it was a mistake we both agreed to forget. Right? A mistake. The word tasted bitter. Zara, he stopped. Silence stretched between them. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock. My driver will pick you up. He hung up before she could respond. Zara threw the phone on her bed and wanted to scream. A mistake. He'd called it a mistake. Like that kiss hadn't felt like the world shifting. Like she hadn't seen the same want in his eyes that she felt burning through her veins. Fine. If he could be professional, so could she. This was just a job. Just debt repayment. Nothing more. She almost believed it. The next evening, she dressed carefully. Professional, but not trying too hard. Jeans and a nice sweater. Hair in a neat bun. Minimal makeup. Armor against feelings she refused to acknowledge. The driver arrived exactly at 7. Same silent efficiency, same route through Gangnam. But when the elevator doors opened, the penthouse felt different. Colder somehow. Ji-hoon was in the living room with 2 men she didn't recognize. All 3 turned when she entered. The strangers looked her over with undisguised curiosity. Zara, this is Jae-sung, my second in command. Ji-hoon gestured to a man about his age with sharp eyes and a calculating smile. And Minho, who needs your medical attention. Minho had a gash across his forearm. Deep but clean. Got into a disagreement, he said in English. His accent was Australian. Other guy looks worse. I'm sure he does. Zara set down her bag. Medical room? She worked in silence, cleaning the wound, placing precise stitches. Minho watched her with interest. You're the nurse everyone's talking about. People are talking about me? Boss brings a woman into his home, lets her stay overnight, has her training in his private gym. Yeah, people talk. His grin was knowing, especially when the boss has never brought anyone here before. Minho. Ji-hoon's voice was cold from the doorway. Shut up. Just making conversation. Make it somewhere else. Minho left, still grinning. Zara focused on cleaning up her supplies, hyper-aware of Ji-hoon watching her. You didn't have to be rude to him, she said without looking up. He was being inappropriate. He was being friendly. He was implying things that aren't true. Ji-hoon moved closer. Things that can't be true. Because it was a mistake. Yes. A mistake you can't stop thinking about. She finally looked at him. I saw the way you looked at me when I walked in. Like you were starving and I was a meal. Don't pretend you've forgotten. His jaw tightened. What I think about in private doesn't matter. What matters is maintaining proper boundaries. Proper boundaries. Zara laughed without humor. You had your tongue in my mouth 3 days ago, Ji-hoon. I think we're past proper boundaries. Which is exactly why we need to re-establish them. He crossed his arms. Defensive. Closed off. You're here to pay off a debt. I'm here to collect that payment. Anything else is a complication neither of us can afford. You're scared. I'm practical. No, you're scared. Of this. Of feeling something for someone you're not supposed to feel anything for. She stepped closer, watching his control crack just a little. What are you so afraid of, Ji-hoon? Losing focus. Making mistakes. Getting you hurt because I'm too busy thinking about how you taste instead of keeping you safe. The words came out harsh. Raw. You want honesty? Fine. I think about you constantly. That kiss plays on repeat in my head. I want to do it again. Want to do more than kiss you. But I can't. Because the moment I let myself care about you beyond keeping you alive, I make you a target. And I won't do that. I won't be responsible for another person. He stopped. Another person you what? Nothing. Forget it. He moved to the door. Jae-sung will drive you home. I have business to attend to. You're running away. I'm being smart. One of us has to be. He left her standing there, her heart pounding and her mind reeling from everything he'd almost said. Jae-sung appeared minutes later. He was quieter than Minho, more observant. The drive started in silence until they were halfway to her apartment. He's not usually like this, Jae-sung said suddenly. Like what? Off balance. Ji-hoon is the most controlled person I know. Nothing rattles him. But you do. He glanced at her in the rearview mirror. I've known him for 8 years. Watched him build this empire from nothing. He doesn't let people in. Doesn't let anyone see beneath the surface. But with you I see cracks. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm not asking you to say anything. Just warning you. Those cracks make him vulnerable. And vulnerable men in our world don't survive long. He pulled up to her building. Be careful with him, Zara. And be careful with yourself. This thing between you, whatever it is, it's dangerous for both of you. Zara climbed out, those words echoing in her head all night. The weekend passed slowly. She studied, went to clinical rotations, pretended everything was normal. The new phone Ji-hoon gave her stayed silent. No calls, no messages, just the weight of knowing he had the number, that he could reach out anytime, that he was choosing not to. Sunday evening, she was making dinner when her roommate Hannah came home with news. Did you hear about the gang war in Itaewon? 3 dead, 5 in the hospital. Police are saying it's the biggest conflict in years. Zara's stomach dropped. When did this happen? Last night. It's all over the news. Hannah turned on the television. The reporter stood in front of yellow police tape, describing the violence, territory disputes, rival organizations, and buried in the coverage, never named directly, references to the Shadow King. Zara grabbed the phone Ji-hoon had given her, called his number. It rang 4 times before going to voicemail. She tried again. Nothing. Panic set in. What if he was hurt? What if he was one of the 5 in the hospital? Or worse, one of the 3 who didn't make it? She called Jae-sung's number, saved from when he'd driven her home. Zara. He sounded exhausted. This isn't a good time. Is he alive? Please just tell me he's alive. A pause. He's alive. Injured, but alive. How bad? Bad enough that he needs a doctor, but too stubborn to go to a hospital. I'm coming there. Zara, no. It's too dangerous right now. The situation isn't contained. I don't care. Send me the address. Her hands shook, but her voice was steady. I'm the nurse, remember? This is literally what I'm here for. Another pause. Then Jae-sung rattled off an address in Gangnam. Not the penthouse. Somewhere else. I'll send a car. 20 minutes. And Zara? Be ready to move fast when you get here. She changed into dark clothes, grabbed her medical bag, and was waiting outside when a black SUV pulled up. Different driver. Armed. That should have scared her. Instead, it just made her more determined. The address was a building that looked like a luxury hotel. The driver led her through a service entrance, up back stairs, to a suite on the top floor. Jae-sung met her at the door. He's going to be angry you're here. I don't care. Show me. Ji-hoon was in the bedroom, sprawled on a bed with his shirt off and blood seeping through a makeshift bandage on his side. Min-ho and 2 other men stood around looking worried. Out, Zara ordered. All of you. Now. They looked at Ji-hoon, who opened his eyes and saw her. Something flickered across his face. Relief? Anger? Both. I told them not to call you, he said. They didn't. I called them. She set down her bag, pulled on gloves. Everyone out. I need to work. The men filed out. Jae-sung closed the door behind them. Finally alone, Zara peeled back the bandage. Knife wound. Deep. Still bleeding. But it had missed vital organs from what she could tell. This is bad, Ji-hoon. I've had worse. That doesn't make it okay. Her hands shook as she cleaned the wound. You could have died. But I didn't. You could have. She blinked back angry tears. 3 people did die. I saw the news. I called you, and you didn't answer, and I thought. Hey. His hand caught hers. Bloody but warm. I'm okay. I'm right here. You're bleeding all over a hotel room. That's not okay. She pulled her hand away, focused on examining the wound. This needs proper stitching. It's going to hurt. Everything hurts already. Do what you need to do. She worked in silence, numbing the area as much as she could, then stitching the wound closed with careful precision. Ji-hoon didn't make a sound, just watched her face with an intensity that made her nervous. Why did you come? He asked quietly. Because you're my patient. You have other patients. You don't rush into gang war zones for them. They don't employ me. They don't owe me 15 million won. She tied off the last stitch. And they definitely don't kiss me and then ignore me for 4 days. I wasn't ignoring you. I was protecting you. From what? The dangerous criminal life you lead? Little late for that, don't you think? She cleaned up the blood, applied a fresh bandage. You need antibiotics. Pain medication. Rest. I need to get back out there. Show strength. The moment they think I'm weak. The moment you collapse from blood loss and infection, you'll show real weakness. She met his eyes. I'm serious, Ji-hoon. You need to rest. Let your body heal. Can't. There are people counting on me. Territory to secure. Rivals who think they can move in while I'm injured. Then let Jae-sung handle it. That's what a second in command is for. You don't understand how this world works. No, I don't. But I understand how bodies work. And yours is telling you to stop. She packed up her supplies. I'm staying tonight. To monitor you. Don't argue. Zara. I said don't argue. You're injured, and I'm the medical professional. For once in your life, let someone take care of you. Something in his expression softened. You're bossy when you're worried. You're infuriating when you're bleeding. She pulled a chair next to the bed. Now rest. I'll wake you every 2 hours to check for concussion symptoms. I don't have a concussion. You have blood loss and possibly shock. I'm checking anyway. She pulled out her phone, set an alarm. Sleep, Ji-hoon. He closed his eyes, but his hand found hers again. Laced their fingers together. Thank you, he said quietly. For coming. For caring enough to come. Someone has to keep you alive. She squeezed his hand. Might as well be me. His breathing evened out. Sleep or unconsciousness, she wasn't sure. But she sat there in the dark hotel room, holding the hand of a man she absolutely shouldn't care about, and admitted the terrifying truth to herself. She was falling for him. For the Shadow King with his contradictions and his vulnerabilities. For the man who cooked dinner and read philosophy and kissed her like she mattered. And that was more dangerous than any gang war. Comment below if you'd have rushed into danger for Ji-hoon, or if Zara's making the biggest mistake of her life. And don't forget to like if you're as invested in these two as I am. Ji-hoon woke every 2 hours when she checked him. Disoriented at first, then remembering where he was. Who was with him? His eyes would find her in the dark, and something would ease in his expression. Still here, he'd murmur. Still here, she'd confirm. By morning, his fever had broken. Color returned to his face. The wound looked clean, no signs of infection. Zara changed his bandages while he watched her with those unreadable dark eyes. You should eat something, she said, taping down the fresh gauze. So should you. When did you last sleep? I'm fine. Liar. He sat up slowly, wincing. You've been awake all night watching me. Your eyes are bloodshot, and you're running on pure adrenaline. Someone had to make sure you didn't die in your sleep. And now that you're sure I'll live? He caught her wrist gently. Go sleep, Zara. The bed is big enough for both of us. That's inappropriate. More inappropriate than you holding my hand all night. She'd thought he was unconscious for that. Heat flooded her cheeks. You needed comfort. People heal better when they don't feel alone. Is that what the textbooks say? His thumb brushed the inside of her wrist. Or is that what you wanted to believe? I should check on the others. See if anyone else needs medical attention. Zara. He tugged her closer. Why are you running? I'm not running. I'm maintaining boundaries like you said we should. I say a lot of things when I'm trying to be smart. Doesn't mean I believe them. He was close enough now that she could see the exhaustion in his face. The pain he was hiding. Stay? Please. Just for a few hours. She should refuse. Should put distance between them. Should remember that this was temporary and complicated and wrong on every level. Instead, she kicked off her shoes and lay down on top of the covers, leaving space between them. Ji-hoon shifted closer, closing that space. His arm draped over her waist. His face pressed against her shoulder. This is a bad idea, Zara whispered. Terrible idea, he agreed. Sleep anyway. She did. Fell asleep in the arms of a dangerous man in a hotel room that smelled like blood and antiseptic. Fell asleep feeling safer than she had in months. When she woke, sun streamed through the windows. Ji-hoon was already awake, watching her with soft eyes. How long have you been staring at me? She asked, voice rough with sleep. Long enough to memorize every detail of your face. He brushed a curl away from her cheek. You snore a little. I do not. Just a little. It's cute. Nothing about this situation is cute. But she didn't move away from his touch. How's your pain level? Manageable. Thanks to you. His fingers traced down her jaw. I meant what I said before. About thinking about you constantly. About wanting things I shouldn't want. Ji-hoon. Let me finish. I've built my entire life on control. Controlling my emotions, my reactions, my world. Then you walked into it. And suddenly I can't control anything. I can't stop thinking about you. Can't stop wanting to protect you. Can't stop wanting you, period. Zara's breath caught. You're saying this because you almost died. Because you're vulnerable right now. I'm saying this because I almost died and realized I'd regret never telling you the truth. He shifted to face her fully. I care about you, Zara. More than I should. More than is safe. And I know it's selfish. I know I'm dragging you into a world that could destroy you. But I can't seem to help myself. What are you asking me? I'm not asking anything. I'm just telling you the truth. What you do with it is up to you. She could feel his heartbeat under her palm. could see the honesty in his eyes, could feel the weight of this moment, this choice. I care about you too, she admitted. I've been trying not to. Been telling myself it's just proximity or adrenaline or some kind of rescue complex. But it's not. When I thought you might be dead, something in me broke. I barely know you, and somehow you've become important to me. Zara, but I'm terrified. Of this. Of what it means. Of what happens when my debt is paid, and I'm supposed to walk away. She met his eyes. Can you promise me this won't destroy us both? No, I can't promise that. His honesty was brutal. This world I live in, it destroys everything eventually. But I can promise I'll do everything in my power to keep you safe. To keep us safe. Keep it all. I'm not asking you to give up anything except the commute. You can still go to classes, still see your friends. Just come home to me at the end of the day. Home. The word hit her harder than it should. Let me think about it, she said finally. Fair enough. He pulled her closer. But while you're thinking, consider this. Every minute you're not with me, I'm distracted wondering if you're safe. And distracted men in my line of work make fatal mistakes. That's manipulative. That's honest. You asked for honesty. She wanted to argue. Wanted to tell him this was too much too fast. But the truth was, she felt safer with him than anywhere else. Felt more herself in his presence than she had in years. 1 month trial, she said. I'll move in for 1 month. If it doesn't work, I go back to my apartment. No arguments. Deal. He kissed her knuckles. You won't regret it. I already regret it. But I'm doing it anyway. His laugh was warm and real. The sound of it made something in her chest ache. That evening, Zara called her roommate with a carefully constructed lie about an internship opportunity that came with housing. Hannah was suspicious but happy for her. They made plans for Zara to collect her things over the weekend. When she hung up, Ji-hoon was watching her. You're good at lying, he observed. I'm good at necessary deception. There's a difference. Is there? In my world, we just call it survival. Maybe, but I don't like it. She sat on the edge of the bed. I don't like hiding this. Hiding us. Give it time. Once things settle, once the situation stabilizes, we can be more open. He pulled her down beside him. For now, keeping you secret keeps you safe. From who? From people who would use you to get to me. From rivals who would see you as a weakness to exploit. His expression darkened. I have enemies, Zara. Real ones. The kind who wouldn't hesitate to hurt you to hurt me. Then maybe this is a mistake. Maybe we're putting each other in danger. Probably. But I'm selfish enough not to care. He brushed his thumb across her lower lip. I want you anyway. Danger and all. She should be scared. Should run while she still could. Instead, she kissed him. Slow and deep. Pouring everything she couldn't say into the connection. When they finally pulled apart, both knew there was no going back. They'd crossed a line. Started something that would either save them or destroy them. Only time would tell which. The next morning, Ji-hoon insisted on going to the meeting despite Zara's protests. She bandaged him tightly, gave him pain medication, and made him promise to call if anything felt wrong. I'll be fine. Jae-sung will be there. Minho too. That's not reassuring. They're the ones who let you get stabbed in the first place. Actually, I got stabbed saving Jae-sung. But I appreciate your concern. He kissed her forehead. Stay here. Rest. I'll be back in a few hours. Ji-hoon. Trust me. Please. She did. That was the terrifying part. She trusted this man she barely knew. This criminal who smiled at her like she hung the moon. Zara spent the day packing up her apartment in her mind. Planning the move. Trying not to think about all the ways this could go wrong. Her phone buzzed around 3. Unknown number. Hello. Zara Okonkwo. The voice was male. Unfamiliar. We need to talk about your employer. Her blood went cold. Who is this? Someone who knows you're more than just a nurse to the Shadow King. Someone who's been watching you. Following you. A pause. Someone who knows exactly how to use you. The line went dead. Zara's hands shook as she called Ji-hoon. Straight to voicemail. She tried Jae-sung. No answer. Panic set in. She was alone in a hotel room, and someone was threatening her. Someone who knew about her and Ji-hoon. The door burst open. Zara screamed, grabbing the nearest weapon, a lamp, and holding it like a bat. Whoa, it's me. Minho held up his hands. Boss sent me to get you. We have a problem. What kind of problem? The kind where someone leaked information about you to the Kim family. The kind where you're not safe here anymore. He gestured urgently. We need to move. Now. I just got a threatening call. I know. That's why I'm here. Come on. Zara grabbed her bag and followed him out. Her heart hammered as they took service stairs down, avoiding cameras, moving fast through back corridors. A black car waited in the alley. Minho shoved her inside and climbed in after her. Where's Ji-hoon? She demanded. Handling the situation. He'll meet us at the safe house. What safe house? What's happening? The meeting was a setup. They knew we were coming. Knew about you and the boss. Minho's expression was grim. Someone inside our organization is feeding information to our enemies. And until we figure out who, you're in serious danger. The car sped through Seoul traffic. Zara watched the city blur past and wondered how her life had become an action thriller in the span of 2 weeks. She wanted to see where this relationship would go. Apparently, the answer was straight into chaos. Things just got real. Comment if you think there's a traitor in Ji-hoon's organization, and don't forget to subscribe because this story is about to explode. Hit that like button if you're on the edge of your seat. The safe house was a modest apartment in Hongdae, hidden among student housing and late-night cafes. Nothing like the luxury penthouse. Just functional furniture and reinforced doors. Minho did a security sweep while Zara stood in the middle of the living room, trying to process everything. You're safe here, Minho said, returning from checking the windows. Only 3 people know about this location. Me, Jae-sung, and the boss. What about the traitor? If it's one of us 3, we're all screwed anyway. He pulled out his phone. I need to make some calls. Don't open the door for anyone. Don't go near the windows. Just stay put. He disappeared into the bedroom, leaving Zara alone with her racing thoughts. Her phone buzzed. Ji-hoon finally calling back. Are you safe? His voice was tight with controlled rage. I'm at the safe house with Minho. What happened? Ambush at the meeting. They knew our route, our security detail, everything. Someone fed them detailed information. A pause. They knew about you, Zara. Showed me pictures of us together. In the penthouse. In the hotel room. Her stomach dropped. Someone was watching us. Someone got close enough to photograph us. That means my security has been compromised. His breathing was harsh. I'm sorry. I promised to keep you safe, and I failed. You didn't fail. We're both alive, aren't we? Barely. Jae-sung took a bullet to the shoulder. 2 of my men are dead. The pain in his voice was raw. This is my fault. I let myself get distracted. Let my guard down because I was too busy thinking about you. Don't do that. Don't blame yourself for caring about someone. In my world, caring gets people killed. He was quiet for a moment. I need you to stay at the safe house until I neutralize this threat. No arguments. How long? However long it takes. Days. Maybe weeks. I have school. Clinical rotations. I can't just disappear. You can and you will. Your life is more important than your attendance record. His voice softened slightly. Please, Zara. Let me handle this. Let me fix it. She wanted to argue. Wanted to tell him she wouldn't be locked away like some damsel in distress. But the fear in his voice stopped her. Okay, but you have to promise me something. Anything. Don't get yourself killed trying to protect me. Whatever you're planning, be smart about it. I'm always smart. You got stabbed yesterday. That's not smart. His laugh was unexpected. Strained but real. Fair point. I'll be careful. I promise. They talked for a few more minutes. Soft words and reassurances that felt fragile in the face of everything happening. When they hung up, Zara felt more alone than ever. Minho emerged from the bedroom. Boss, fill you in. Enough. Who do you think the traitor is? Could be anyone. We have over 50 people in the organization. Any of them could have been bought or threatened. He sat across from her. But my money's on someone close. Someone who has access to detailed schedules and security protocols. You think it's Jae-sung? I don't want to think it's Jae-sung. He's been Ji-hoon's right hand for years. But he's the only one besides me who knew about the hotel room. Who knew you were there. Zara's mind raced. What about Taemin? The first patient I treated. He was in the penthouse for days. Had access. Taemin's been with us since he was 16. Ji-hoon basically raised him. But Minho was frowning now, thinking. Still, loyalty can be bought. Or coerced. How do we find out? We don't. We stay here and stay safe while the boss handles it. He stood, stretching. I'm going to make us some food. You should try to rest. Rest. Right. Like she could sleep knowing someone was hunting her. Someone who'd gotten close enough to photograph her in Ji-hoon's arms. She moved to the window despite Min-ho's warning. Stayed to the side, peering out at the street below. Students walking to class. Couples holding hands. Normal life happening while hers spiraled into danger. Her phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Different from before. She almost didn't answer. Almost deleted it. But something made her pick up. Hello. Zara Okonkwo. We spoke earlier. The same male voice. Calm. Polite. Terrifying. I see you made it to the safe house. Smart girl. Her blood turned to ice. How did you? I told you. I've been watching. I know where you are. I know who's protecting you. I know everything. A pause. And I'm willing to offer you a deal. I'm not interested in deals with people who threaten me. Not even a deal that saves your life. That saves Ji-hoon's life. The voice was almost amused. I don't want to kill you, Zara. You're just a student who got caught up in something bigger than yourself. Walk away now. Go back to your normal life. And I'll make sure the Kim family forgets you exist. And if I don't, then you become a target. A way to hurt the Shadow King. And trust me, they'll hurt you in ways that will make you wish you'd taken my offer. Zara's hands shook. What about Ji-hoon? What about him? He's a crime lord, Zara. He's made enemies. Hurt people. Eventually, someone was going to come for him. Whether you're in the picture or not doesn't change his fate. You're wrong. I matter to him. My being in danger will make him reckless. Exactly. Which is why removing you from the equation is the smartest move. For everyone. The voice hardened. I'm giving you 24 hours to decide. Walk away or become collateral damage. Your choice. The line went dead. Zara stood there, phone in hand, mind spinning. This person wanted her gone. Was willing to let her live if she just left Ji-hoon. The easy choice. The safe choice. Go back to school, finish her degree, pay off the debt some other way. Protect herself and maybe protect Ji-hoon in the process. But the thought of never seeing him again made her chest ache. The thought of him facing this threat alone made her angry. She'd never been good at taking the easy path. Min-ho appeared in the doorway. You okay? You look pale. I'm fine. Just tired. She pocketed her phone. Didn't mention the call. Needed time to think about what it meant. They ate ramen in silence. Min-ho tried to make small talk, but gave up when Zara's responses stayed monosyllabic. Eventually, he set up watch by the window while Zara retreated to the bedroom. She lay on the small bed and stared at the ceiling. 24 hours to decide. 24 hours to choose between safety and whatever this thing with Ji-hoon was becoming. Her phone buzzed. A text from Ji-hoon. Thinking about you. Wishing I could be there. Stay strong. Another text followed. You make me want to be better than I am. Make me want to deserve you. I hope you know that. Tears pricked her eyes. He was out there hunting a traitor, probably getting himself into more danger, and he was texting her sweet things. This man. This impossible, dangerous, complicated man. She texted back. Come back to me safe. That's all I want. His response was immediate. Always. Zara closed her eyes. She'd already made her choice, really. The moment she'd rushed into danger to save him. The moment she'd held his hand through the night. The moment she'd agreed to see where this went. 24 hours. She'd use them to prepare. To help Ji-hoon find the traitor. To prove she wasn't some helpless victim waiting to be rescued. She was Zara Okonkwo. She'd survived leaving her country, losing her father, fighting to put herself through school. She'd survive this too. And whoever thought threatening her would make her run had seriously underestimated who they were dealing with. Morning came with Min-ho shaking her awake. Boss is here. Zara stumbled into the living room to find Ji-hoon standing by the window. He looked exhausted, still healing from his stab wound. But his eyes lit up when he saw her. You're supposed to be resting, she said. Couldn't stay away. He crossed to her, pulled her into his arms. Are you okay? Min-ho said you seemed off last night. She should tell him about the calls, about the threat, but something held her back. Maybe the fear that he'd do something reckless to protect her. Maybe the need to handle this herself. Just scared, trying to process everything. She pulled back to look at him. Did you find anything? Maybe. We're tracing the photos back to their source. Jae-sung is interrogating everyone who had access to the penthouse. His jaw tightened. We'll find whoever did this. And then what? Then I make an example of them. Show everyone what happens when you betray me. The darkness in his voice sent chills down her spine. This was the Shadow King. The man who ruled through fear and violence. The man who could kill without hesitation. She'd almost forgotten that side of him. Ji-hoon, when you find them, don't. She stopped. What was she asking? Don't kill them? Don't be who you are? Don't what? He cupped her face. Don't protect you? Don't eliminate threats? Don't be what I've always been. I'm just asking you to be smart. Not reckless. Reckless is letting traitors live. Smart is making sure this never happens again. He kissed her forehead. I need you to trust me on this, Zara. Trust that I know how to handle my world. I do trust you. I'm just afraid of what this world will turn you into. It already turned me into this. You're just seeing it clearly now. He released her, stepped back. Maybe that unknown caller was right. Maybe you should walk away while you still can. Zara's blood went cold. What unknown caller? Ji-hoon pulled out his phone, showed her a call log. Someone called the penthouse phone last night. Left a message offering you safe passage if you left me. Told me this morning when I checked messages. So there had been 2 calls. One to her, one to him. This person was playing both sides. What did you tell them? She asked carefully. I told them to go to hell. That you're under my protection and anyone who touches you dies. His expression was hard. But maybe I was wrong. Maybe keeping you close is more dangerous than letting you go. Don't I get a say in this? Of course you do. I'm just giving you the option. The out I should have given you from the beginning. He moved toward the door. Think about it. Really think about whether this life, whether I'm worth the risk. He left before she could respond. Just walked out, taking her heart with him. Minho whistled low. That was dramatic. He's trying to protect me. He's trying to protect himself. From caring too much. From having something to lose. Minho leaned against the wall. For what it's worth, I've never seen him like this. Soft. Vulnerable. You're good for him. I'm a distraction that's getting people killed. You're a reason for him to want to survive. There's a difference. He checked his phone. Jae-sung's calling a meeting. All senior members. He thinks he found the leak. Already. Sometimes the obvious answer is the right one. Minho grabbed his jacket. You coming? Zara shouldn't. Should stay hidden like Ji-hoon wanted. But she needed to see this. Needed to know who'd been watching them. Who'd threatened her. I'm coming. They took a different car. Different route. Constant checking for tails. The paranoia was exhausting, but necessary. The meeting was in a warehouse in Incheon. Industrial. Cold. The kind of place where bad things happened and nobody asked questions. Ji-hoon stood in the center of a circle of men. In the middle, tied to a chair, was Tae-min, the young man she'd saved. The one who'd thanked her for his life. No, Zara breathed. Ji-hoon's eyes found her across the warehouse. Anger flashed in them. You weren't supposed to be here. Minho brought me. She moved closer, staring at Tae-min. It was him? This whole time. The photos were taken from his phone. The leaked schedules match information only he had access to. Jae-sung's voice was cold. Professional. He's been feeding the Kim family information for 3 months. Tae-min's face was bruised. Swollen. They'd already started questioning him. I'm sorry, he said, not looking at anyone. They have my sister. Said they'd kill her if I didn't help them. So you sold us out? Got 2 of our people killed. Ji-hoon's voice was deadly calm. You could have come to me. I would have protected your sister. They said you'd use her as bait. That you don't care about family, only power. Tae-min finally looked up, tears streaming down his face. I didn't want to betray you. You gave me everything. But she's all I have left. Silence filled the warehouse. Zara felt sick. This was the reality of Ji-hoon's world. Loyalty bought with threats. Family used as weapons. No good choices, only degrees of bad. Where's your sister now? Ji-hoon asked. Safe house in Busan. They're holding her there until they get what they want. Which is, you. Dead or surrendered. They don't care which. Ji-hoon was quiet for a long moment. Then he looked at Jae-sung. Get a team to Busan. Extract the sister. Bring her here. Boss, he betrayed us. His sister's leverage is the only reason to keep him alive. I said get her. Now. Ji-hoon's voice left no room for argument. Jae-sung made calls. Organized the extraction. Through it all, Tae-min stared at Ji-hoon with something like hope. Why? Tae-min whispered. Why help her after what I did? Because I remember being young and scared and willing to do anything to protect someone I loved. Ji-hoon crouched in front of him. Because I'm not the monster they told you I was. And because Zara is standing there looking at me like she's trying to decide if I'm worth saving, and I need to show her I am. His eyes met Zara's across the warehouse. Raw, honest, pleading. When your sister is safe, you leave Seoul. Both of you. I'll give you enough money to start over somewhere far from here. But if I ever see you again, if you ever speak about what you know, I'll kill you both. Understood. Taemin nodded frantically. Thank you. Thank you. Jihoon stood, walked to Zara. I know what you're thinking. That I should kill him. That mercy is weakness in this world. I'm thinking that you just proved you're more than what this world made you. She touched his face. I'm thinking that I was right to choose you. Even knowing what I'm capable of, what I've done, even knowing all of it. She kissed him softly. Take me home, Jihoon. Real home. The penthouse. I'm done hiding. It's not safe yet. Nowhere is safe. But at least there I'm with you. She laced her fingers through his. Besides, I have boxes to unpack. Moving day, remember? Something in his expression cracked. Relief and love and gratitude all mixed together. Moving day, he agreed. Let's go home. This is what real love looks like. Choosing each other despite the danger. Drop a comment if Jihoon's mercy surprised you. And hit that subscribe button because we're heading into the final act. Like if you're rooting for these two crazy kids. The penthouse felt different now that Zara was actually moving in. Not just visiting. Not just hiding. Actually making it her home. Boxes arrived from her apartment throughout the day. Her clothes in the walk-in closet next to Jihoon's expensive suits. Her medical textbooks on his shelves beside philosophy and strategy. Her bright throw pillows on his minimalist couch. You're bringing color into my life, Jihoon observed, watching her arrange things. Literally. Your place looked like a very expensive prison cell. It needed warmth. She set down a framed photo of her family. Her parents on their wedding day, her siblings crowded around them. Is this okay? Having my family here. It's perfect. He picked up the frame, studying the faces. Your mother is beautiful. You have her smile. And my father's stubbornness apparently. She took the frame back, placed it carefully on the side table. He'd probably hate that I'm living with someone I'm not married to. Very traditional man. Is that a problem for you? My father's been dead for 3 years. His opinions don't get a vote anymore. But her voice was sad. I wish he could have met you though. I think he would have liked you. Eventually. After getting past the whole crime lord thing. That's a pretty big thing to get past. True. But he always said to judge people by their actions, not their circumstances. She turned to face him. Your actions toward me have been protective. Honest. Kind. Even when it cost you. That would have mattered to him. Jihoon pulled her close, rested his forehead against hers. I want to be worthy of that judgment. Want to be the man your father would approve of. Then keep being who you are when we're alone. The real you, not the Shadow King. What if they're the same person? They're not. The Shadow King doesn't cook bulgogi or read philosophy or show mercy to traitors. She kissed him gently. That person is all you, Jihoon. The parts you choose to be. They spent the evening organizing her things. Jihoon insisted on carrying every box, despite his healing stab wound. Zara scolded him repeatedly, and he ignored her repeatedly, smiling the whole time. You're impossible, she said, watching him lift another box. You like that about me. I tolerate it because you're injured, and I'm a compassionate person. Right? Compassion. That's definitely why you keep staring at my arms. Heat flooded her face. I'm checking your range of motion. Medical observation. Sure you are. He set down the box, moved closer. Want to do a more thorough examination? Jihoon. He kissed her, deep and slow, backing her against the wall, his body warm and solid against hers. Zara melted into it, her hands sliding under his shirt, feeling the muscles she'd definitely not been staring at. His phone rang. They broke apart, both breathing hard. Jihoon grabbed his phone, looked at the screen, and his expression darkened. Jae-sung. What happened? He listened, his jaw tightening. When? How many? A pause. I'll be there in 20 minutes. He hung up, already moving toward his bedroom to change. What's wrong? Zara followed him. The extraction team in Busan. They got Taemin's sister out, but the Kim family followed them back. There's going to be a confrontation. He pulled on tactical gear, strapping weapons to his body with practiced efficiency. I need to handle this. Let me come with you. Absolutely not. I'm a nurse. If people get hurt, that's exactly why you're staying here. Where it's safe. Where I don't have to worry about you getting caught in crossfire. He cupped her face. Please, Zara. Let me do this without being distracted by fear for you. She wanted to argue, wanted to insist she could help, but the pleading in his eyes stopped her. Okay, but you call me the second it's over. Let me know you're safe. I promise. He kissed her hard and fast. There's a panic room behind the bookshelf in my office. Code is your birthday. If anyone gets past security, you hide there until I come for you. Ji-hoon, you're scaring me. Good. Fear keeps you cautious. Caution keeps you alive. He headed for the elevator. Lock the door behind me. Don't open it for anyone except me or Jae-sung. Then he was gone. Zara stood in the silent penthouse, her heart hammering, and locked the door like he'd instructed. Then she went to his office, found the panic room, made sure she knew how to access it. Just in case. The waiting was torture. She tried to study, tried to watch television, tried to do anything except imagine Ji-hoon in danger. Around midnight, her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Hello. Zara Okonkwo. Your 24 hours are almost up. The same calm, polite voice from before. Have you made your decision? I'm not leaving him. Pity. I really did want to give you a chance. A pause. You should know, the confrontation happening right now in Incheon? That was my doing. I made sure the Kim family knew exactly where to find Ji-hoon's men. Her blood turned to ice. You're the real traitor. Not Tae-min. Tae-min was useful. His sister made him easy to manipulate. But yes, the larger game has always been mine. The voice was almost regretful. I tried to save you from this, Zara. Tried to give you an out. But you chose him. So now you get to live with the consequences. Who are you? Why are you doing this? Who I am doesn't matter. Why is simple. Ji-hoon took something from me years ago. Someone I loved. Now I'm going to take everything from him. His empire. His power. His people. A pause. And the woman who made him soft enough to be destroyed. The line went dead. Zara's hands shook as she tried to call Ji-hoon. Straight to voicemail. She tried Jae-sung. Same thing. The confrontation was a trap. Ji-hoon was walking into a trap, and she couldn't warn him. She paced the penthouse, mind racing. She should stay here. Stay safe like he'd asked. But if he was walking into an ambush, if he was about to be killed because she hadn't told him about the threats, she couldn't live with that. Zara grabbed her medical bag, her phone, and headed for the elevator. She didn't know where the confrontation was happening exactly. Didn't have a plan beyond getting to Ji-hoon before it was too late. The lobby security tried to stop her. Miss Okonkwo, Mr. Kwon said you weren't to leave. And I'm telling you I need a car to Incheon. Now, or I'll walk there myself. The guard looked torn. Finally, he made a call, spoke rapidly in Korean, then hung up. Mr. Jae-sung is sending a car. But he says you're to stay in the vehicle no matter what. Understood. Understood. She lied. Had no intention of staying in any car while Ji-hoon was in danger. The drive to Incheon took 30 minutes. Long enough for Zara to second-guess this decision 100 times. Long enough to remember every warning Ji-hoon had given her about his world. Not long enough to talk herself out of it. They pulled up to a warehouse district. Abandoned buildings and empty streets. The kind of place where violence happened and nobody intervened. Gunfire echoed in the distance. Stay in the car, the driver ordered. I mean it. Mr. Kwon will kill me if anything happens to you. Zara nodded. Waited until the driver's attention was on his phone. Then slipped out the back door and ran toward the sound of fighting. She'd never been in a war zone before. Never heard real gunshots or smelled gunpowder or seen the aftermath of violence up close. Her medical training covered trauma care, but nothing prepared her for this. Bodies on the ground. Some moving, some not. Blood pooling on concrete. Men shouting in Korean, firing weapons, fighting hand to hand. And in the middle of it all, Ji-hoon. He moved like death incarnate. Precise. Brutal. Taking down opponents with cold efficiency. But he was outnumbered. At least 20 men against his 10. The math wasn't good. Zara spotted Jae-sung against a wall, clutching his shoulder. The same shoulder that had taken a bullet before. Bleeding heavily. Medical training overrode fear. She ran to him, dropping to her knees beside him. Zara? What the hell? Shut up. Let me see. She ripped open his shirt, assessed the damage. Through and through. Painful, but not immediately fatal if she could stop the bleeding. This is going to hurt. She packed the wound with gauze from her bag, applied pressure. Jae-sung grunted, but didn't cry out. You shouldn't be here, he said through gritted teeth. Too late now? Where's Ji-hoon? Fighting his way to the Kim family's lieutenant. This whole thing was a setup. They were waiting for us. I know. Someone called me. Told me they set this up. Said they wanted to destroy Ji-hoon. She tied off the bandage. That should hold until we can get you real treatment. Can you walk? Can I? Jae-sung laughed harshly. I'm not the one you should be worried about. He pointed. Zara turned to see Ji-hoon surrounded by 4 men. Fighting them off, but tiring. The stab wound from yesterday was bleeding through his shirt. He was injured and exhausted and running out of time. Zara did the stupidest thing she'd ever done. She ran toward him. Ji-hoon. His head snapped toward her voice. Distraction. Fatal distraction. One of the men landed a punch to his injured side. Ji-hoon went down. Zara screamed. Kept running. Reached him as the men closed in for the kill. She threw herself over him. Human shield. Stupid and desperate, and the only thing she could think to do. Don't, she shouted. Please, don't. The men hesitated. Looked at each other. Looked at the woman protecting their target. One of them raised his gun anyway. A shot rang out, but it wasn't aimed at them. The man with the gun dropped, a hole in his forehead. Then another man fell. And another. Reinforcements. Minho and a team of Ji-hoon's people, arriving from different angles. The tide of the fight turned. Ji-hoon pushed Zara off him, got to his feet despite his injuries. What are you doing here? I told you to stay home. Someone set you up? They called me, told me this was a trap. So you ran toward the trap? Are you insane? Probably. But you were in danger, and I couldn't just. He kissed her, hard and fierce and tasting like blood and fear and relief. When he pulled back, his eyes were blazing. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever risk yourself like that. Then don't walk into traps without me. Zara. More gunfire. Ji-hoon shoved her behind him, returned fire, protecting her body with his own. They made it to cover behind a shipping container. Others joined them. The fight was ending. The Kim family's men were retreating or dead. Victory. Bloody and brutal, but victory. Jae-sung staggered over, still bleeding. We got their lieutenant. He's willing to talk in exchange for medical treatment. Give him to Zara. She'll patch him up. Ji-hoon turned to her. After you tell me everything about these phone calls you didn't mention. His voice was cold. Controlled. Angry. Zara swallowed hard. There were 2 calls. One offering me safe passage if I left you. One tonight telling me this was a trap. Both from the same person. Someone who said you took someone they loved years ago. Description? Accent. Anything identifying. Male. Calm. Almost polite. No accent I could place. She met his eyes. He said he wanted to destroy everything you have. That I made you soft enough to kill. Ji-hoon's expression was unreadable. He's not wrong. You do make me soft. Make me vulnerable. He cupped her face despite the blood on his hands. But I don't care. I'd rather be vulnerable with you than invincible without you. That's the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me in a war zone. His laugh was unexpected. Come on. Let's patch up our prisoners and go home. Your home, or mine? Our home. It's our home now, remember? Despite everything, despite the violence and the fear and the near-death experience, Zara smiled. Our home. I like the sound of that. They spent the next hour treating wounded. Zara worked on the Kim lieutenant while Ji-hoon interrogated him. The man talked, giving up names and locations in exchange for his life. By the time they loaded into cars to head back to Seoul, dawn was breaking over Incheon. Pink and gold light over a battlefield. Beautiful and terrible at once. Zara sat next to Ji-hoon in the back of the SUV. He held her hand tight, like he was afraid she'd disappear. His shirt was soaked with blood from his reopened wound, but he refused treatment until they got home. Stubborn, Zara muttered. Pot, meat kettle. But he was smiling. You ran into a firefight for me. You would have done the same. Without hesitation. But I'm trained for this. You're a nurse who's supposed to heal people, not throw yourself in front of bullets. I'm a nurse who loves a very stupid, very brave crime lord. The words slipped out before she could stop them. Silence filled the car. Ji-hoon turned to look at her. Say that again. Which part? The part where you love me. Zara's heart hammered. I love you. Even though it's too fast and too complicated and probably going to get us both killed. I love you anyway. He kissed her. Soft and sweet and gentle despite the violence they'd just survived. When he pulled back, his eyes were wet. I love you too. So much it terrifies me. So much I'd burn this whole city down to keep you safe. He rested his forehead against hers. You're my home, Zara. Not the penthouse or the empire or any of it. You. Then let's go home, she whispered. Both of us. Together. They finally said it. The big L word. Comment if you're crying happy tears right now, and smash that like button if you want to see how this love story ends. Don't forget to subscribe because we're almost at the finish line. Back at the penthouse, Zara finally got Ji-hoon to sit still long enough for proper treatment. His stab wound had torn open during the fight, bleeding freely now. This needs stitches. Again. She cleaned the wound with steady hands despite her exhaustion. You keep ruining my good work. Sorry. Next time I'll ask the people trying to kill me to aim somewhere else. Next time you'll stay home and let other people handle the fighting. We both know that's not happening. He winced as she started stitching. But I'll try to be more careful. For you. For us, she corrected. We're a team now, remember? What affects you affects me. She worked in silence for a few minutes, focusing on making neat, precise sutures. Ji-hoon watched her face the whole time, something soft in his expression. What? She asked without looking up. Just memorizing this. You. Taking care of me. Making me feel like maybe I deserve to be cared for. You do deserve it. Stop acting like you don't. Years of evidence to the contrary. Then make new evidence. Be the man I see when I look at you. She tied off the last stitch, applied a clean bandage. There. Try not to get stabbed or shot or beaten for at least a week. Give your body time to heal. I'll pencil that into my schedule. She started cleaning up the medical supplies, her mind elsewhere. The voice on the phone kept haunting her. Someone who blamed Ji-hoon for losing someone they loved. Someone patient enough to plan this elaborate revenge. What are you thinking about? Ji-hoon asked. The person who called me. They said you took someone from them years ago. Do you know who that could be? His expression darkened. I've taken a lot of things from a lot of people. Made enemies. Destroyed rivals. It could be any of them. But someone they loved? Someone whose loss made them want to destroy you specifically. Ji-hoon was quiet for a long moment. There was a man. 5 years ago. Park Min-joon. He ran a trafficking operation. Children mostly. Selling them to the highest bidder. His voice was flat, emotionless. I found out about it. Shut him down. Killed him and everyone involved. That sounds like something that needed to be done. It was. But Min-joon had a brother. Younger. In college at the time, studying abroad. By the time he came back to Korea, his brother was dead and I'd taken over their territory. Ji-hoon met her eyes. Park Sung-ho. Brilliant. Patient. The kind of person who'd wait years for the perfect revenge. Do you think it's him? I think it's the best lead we have. He pulled out his phone, started making calls. Rapid Korean that Zara couldn't follow. Organizing his people, setting plans in motion. While he worked, Zara showered off the blood and gunpowder. Changed into clean clothes. By the time she emerged, Ji-hoon had gathered information. Park Sung-ho returned to Korea 6 months ago, right around the time you and I met. He showed her photos on his phone. A young man, maybe 30, with sharp features and cold eyes. He's been working with the Kim family, feeding them information, setting up confrontations, using Taemin to get close to us. So everything that's happened, all the violence, it's been him orchestrating it. Looks that way. He wanted me to suffer, to lose people, to feel helpless the way he felt when I killed his brother. Ji-hoon's jaw tightened. And he used you to do it. Made you a target to get to me. What are you going to do? What I always do. Find him. End the threat. He stood, wincing at the movement. But first, I need you to do something for me. What? Leave Seoul. Just for a few days. Let me handle this without worrying about your safety. We already tried that. I came back, remember? This is different. Park Sung-ho knows about you now. Knows you matter to me. He'll use that. I need you somewhere he can't reach you. Zara crossed her arms. No. Zara. No. I'm not running. I'm not hiding. We're in this together or not at all. She moved closer to him. You told me I'm your home. Well, you're mine too. And I don't abandon my home when things get difficult. This isn't difficult. This is dangerous. This is a man who spent 5 years planning revenge. Who won't stop until either he's dead or I am. Then we make sure he's the one who ends up dead. She took his hands. I trust you, Ji-hoon. Trust you to keep us both safe. But I need you to trust me too. Trust that I can handle this. That I'm strong enough to stand beside you. He pulled her into his arms, held her tight. You're the strongest person I know. That's not the issue. The issue is that I love you so much the thought of losing you makes me want to destroy the world. Then don't lose me. We face this together and we win together. He kissed her forehead. Together. I can work with that. They spent the rest of the day planning. Ji-hoon called in every favor, activated every resource. His people spread across Seoul, hunting for Park Sung-ho, setting traps, preparing for confrontation. Evening came with news. One of Ji-hoon's informants spotted Park at a nightclub in Gangnam. Public place. Lots of witnesses. Risky for a confrontation, but also an opportunity. I'm going, Ji-hoon said, already changing into a suit. We're going, Zara corrected. Absolutely not. You need me. If Park sees you alone, he'll know you're hunting him. But if we go together, like a couple on a date, it looks normal. Gives you a chance to get close. Ji-hoon stared at her. When did you get so good at strategy? I've been paying attention. She pulled out a dress from her newly unpacked wardrobe. Black, elegant, the kind of thing that would fit in at an upscale club. Besides, he called me. Threatened me. I deserve to look him in the eye when you take him down. This is a terrible idea. So was falling in love with you. I'm on a roll with terrible ideas. Despite everything, he laughed. Fine. But you stay close to me. You don't leave my sight. And if things go wrong, you run. No arguments, no heroics. Just run. Deal. An hour later, they walked into one of Gangnam's most exclusive nightclubs. Music pounded, lights flashed, beautiful people danced and drank like the world outside didn't exist. Ji-hoon kept his hand on Zara's lower back as they moved through the crowd. Protective. Possessive. His eyes scanned constantly, looking for threats. They found Park Sung-ho in a VIP section. He wasn't hiding. Just sitting there with a drink, watching the crowd like he owned the place. When he saw Ji-hoon, he smiled. Shadow King. I was wondering when you'd find me. Park's voice was smooth, educated. The same voice from the phone calls. And you brought your weakness with you. How convenient. Ji-hoon's hand tightened on Zara's back. She's not my weakness. She's my strength. Is that what you tell yourself? That love makes you stronger? Park laughed. Love makes you vulnerable. Makes you predictable. Makes you easy to destroy. You tried that already. I'm still standing. True. But how many of your people aren't? How many died because you were distracted playing house with your little nurse? Park's eyes fixed on Zara. Tell me, does he tell you about the things he's done? The people he's killed? Or does he pretend to be someone better when he's with you? I know exactly who he is, Zara said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. I know what he's done, and I love him anyway. How touching. How naive. Park stood, moving closer. Did he tell you about my brother? About how he tortured him for information before killing him? About how Min-jun begged for his life, and Ji-hoon laughed. Your brother sold children, Ji-hoon said coldly. He deserved worse than what I gave him. He was trying to survive in a world you control. A world where people like us have to do terrible things just to have power. Park's composure cracked. You took everything from me. My family. My future. You don't get to play hero because you found some girl who makes you feel human. This isn't about heroism. This is about you being unable to let go of the past. Ji-hoon stepped forward, putting himself between Park and Zara. Your brother made choices. Paid for them. That has nothing to do with her. It has everything to do with her. She's the thing you care about most. Which means she's the thing I take from you. Park pulled out a gun. Security moved instantly. Ji-hoon's people closing in. But Park was faster, grabbing a woman from the crowd, using her as a shield. Everyone back or she dies, he shouted. The club descended into chaos. People screaming, running for exits. Security trying to maintain control while not triggering a massacre. Ji-hoon held up his hands. Let her go. This is between us. No. This is between you and everyone you've ever cared about. Park's eyes were wild now. Desperate. You don't get to find happiness while I suffer. You don't get redemption while my brother rots in the ground. Your brother was a monster, Zara said suddenly. Everyone turned to look at her. I've seen the kind of damage that trafficking does. The children who survive it are never the same. Your brother wasn't trying to survive. He was profiting from suffering. Shut up. You don't know anything. I know grief. I know anger. I know what it's like to lose someone and want someone to blame. She took a step forward. Ji-hoon tried to stop her, but she moved past him. But this? Hurting innocent people to get revenge? That makes you just like your brother. Another monster hiding behind justifications. I said shut up. Park's gun swung toward Zara. Everything happened at once. Ji-hoon moved, tackling Zara to the ground as the gun went off. The hostage broke free and ran. Ji-hoon's security opened fire. Park went down, bullets finding their mark. He collapsed, blood spreading across the expensive club floor. The music had stopped. Silence except for sobbing and sirens in the distance. Ji-hoon pulled Zara up, checking her frantically for injuries. Are you hurt? Did he hit you? I'm fine. I'm okay. But she was shaking, the reality of what almost happened crashing over her. Jae-sung appeared, despite his shoulder injury. We need to leave. Police are coming. They moved fast, slipping out through back exits. By the time authorities arrived, they were gone. Just another shooting in Seoul's nightlife. Another crime that would be investigated but never solved. Back at the penthouse, Zara finally broke down. The fear and adrenaline of the past few days catching up with her all at once. She sat on the bathroom floor and cried while Ji-hoon held her. I'm sorry, he said over and over. I'm so sorry you had to go through this. Is he dead? She asked when she could speak again. Yes. Good. She looked up at him. Does that make me a terrible person? Being glad someone's dead. It makes you human. Makes you someone who understands that some threats need to be eliminated. He brushed tears from her face. You were so brave tonight. So strong. I've never been more terrified or more proud. I just didn't want him to win. Didn't want him to destroy what we have. He didn't. We're still here. Still together. Ji-hoon pulled her closer. And we're going to stay that way. They sat on the bathroom floor until Zara stopped shaking. Until the fear faded into exhaustion. Then Ji-hoon carried her to bed, held her while she slept, and promised himself he'd find a way to give her the life she deserved. A life with less violence, less fear, more peace. He just had to figure out how to balance that with the world he'd built. Morning came with unexpected news. Jae-sung called early, his voice urgent. The Kim family wants to negotiate. They're offering a truce. Park Sung-ho's death solved their problem too, apparently. He was getting too ambitious, trying to take over their operations. What are the terms? Ji-hoon asked. Territory split. Mutual non-aggression. They stay in their lanes, we stay in ours. Jae-sung paused. It's a good offer, boss. Maybe the best we'll get. Ji-hoon looked at Zara, still sleeping beside him. Her face peaceful in the morning light. She deserved peace. Deserved a life without constant threat. Set up the meeting. I'll hear them out. You sure about this? Peace isn't really our style. Maybe it's time for a new style. He ended the call, pulled Zara closer. She stirred, opened her eyes. Who was that? Jae-sung. The Kim family wants to negotiate peace. Are you going to accept? I think so. I'm tired, Zara. Tired of fighting. Tired of looking over my shoulder. Tired of putting you in danger because of wars that started before we even met. He stroked her hair. I want to try something different. Build something different. With you. What about your empire? Your reputation? Empires fall. Reputations change. But what we have, that's worth protecting. Worth changing for. Zara kissed him. Slow and sweet and full of promise. I love you. I love this version of you. The one who chooses peace. I love you too. More than I thought I could love anything. They stayed in bed, holding each other, planning a future that felt possible for the first time. A future where Ji-hoon could step back from the violence. Where Zara could finish school. Where they could just be two people in love instead of players in a dangerous game. It wouldn't be easy. Ji-hoon's world didn't let people walk away cleanly. But with the Kim family's truce, with Park Sung-ho dead, with his organization stable, maybe he could transition into something legitimate. Use his money and connections for good instead of control. Maybe he could become the man Zara saw when she looked at him. The negotiations took weeks. Careful planning, precise terms, guarantees on both sides. But eventually, an agreement was reached. Territory divided. Business separated. Peace, fragile but real. Ji-hoon transferred most of his operations to Jae-sung. Kept only his legitimate businesses. Real estate, investments, the foundation Zara had helped him start. It felt like shedding skin. Uncomfortable. Strange. But also liberating. How does it feel? Zara asked one evening, watching him work in his office. Being a normal businessman instead of the Shadow King? Weird. Quiet. Like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. He set down his pen. But also good. Right. Like maybe I can be more than what I was. You already are more. You always were. You just needed to believe it. 3 months later, Zara graduated nursing school. Top of her class. Ji-hoon sat in the audience, ridiculously proud, watching her accept her diploma. That night, he took her to dinner at the fanciest restaurant in Seoul. Private room overlooking the city. The same city he'd once ruled through fear, now just a beautiful view. I have something for you, he said when dessert arrived. Ji-hoon, you already gave me a graduation present. The car was too much. Not that. This is something different. He pulled out a small box. Zara's breath caught. Is that? Marry me. He opened the box, revealing a ring. Simple, elegant, perfect. I know we haven't been together that long. I know my life is complicated and my past is messy, and I'm probably not what your family imagined for you. But I love you. I want to spend my life with you. Want to build something real and good and lasting. So please, Zara Okonkwo, marry me. Tears streamed down her face. Yes. Yes, of course yes. He slipped the ring on her finger, kissed her like they were the only two people in the world. They got married 6 months later. Small ceremony on a beach in Thailand, just like they'd always talked about. Her mother flew in from Lagos, crying happy tears. Her siblings video called to watch. Ji-hoon's people sent congratulations and expensive gifts. It was perfect, simple and beautiful, and theirs. Standing on that beach, promising forever to each other, Zara thought about the night they met. The rain and desperation and impossible choice that had brought them together. She'd needed money. He'd needed someone to trust. Neither had expected to find love. But they had. Against all odds, despite every obstacle, they'd found each other and refused to let go. What are you thinking? Ji-hoon asked, holding her close as the sun set over the ocean. That I'd make the same choice again. Would step in front of your car 1,000 times if it meant ending up here. Even knowing everything you know now, everything we went through, especially knowing that. Because it means we chose each other every single day. Through fear and danger and impossible situations. We chose us. We chose us, he agreed. And I'll keep choosing you. Every day. For the rest of my life. 2 years later, they stood in a hospital in Lagos. The building Zara had dreamed about, funded by their foundation, finally complete. State-of-the-art equipment. Trained staff. Free health care for children who needed it most. Emmanuel, healthy and strong now, cut the ribbon. Zara's brother who'd started everything, whose illness had brought her and Ji-hoon together. You did this, Zara's mother said, tears streaming. My daughter did this. We did this, Zara corrected, squeezing Ji-hoon's hand. Together. That night, in their hotel room, Ji-hoon pulled her close. No regrets, he asked. None. You. Only that I didn't find you sooner. He kissed her temple. But maybe the timing was perfect. Maybe we both needed to become who we were before we could become who we are together. That's very philosophical. I've been reading a lot. Your influence. She laughed, the sound filling their room with warmth. I love you, Kwon Ji-hoon. Former Shadow King. Current best husband in the world. I love you, Zara Okonkwo Kwon. The woman who saw past the monster and found the man. Outside their window, Lagos glittered in the night. A city full of life and hope and possibility. Inside, two people who'd found each other in darkness held tight to the light they'd built together. This was their story. Born in desperation, forged in danger, solidified in love. And it was only the beginning. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button one last time. Subscribe for more emotional romance stories that will make you believe in love against all odds. And comment below with your favorite moment from Zara and Ji-hoon's journey. Thank you for reading. Until next time, remember that sometimes the most beautiful love stories start in the most unexpected places. Take care and keep believing in second chances.